Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Brandon,
Jerry.
and we're here to update you on the last week in Ecom. This is episode 3, and we're having fun, and we're just trying to recap all the most noteworthy stuff over the last week, so you don't have to worry about missing a thing. First of all, this came out maybe like 3 weeks ago or so, but I haven't really seen anyone talking about it. TikTok search ads are a thing now. They're still in beta, but I think it's an interesting development because TikTok obviously has a massive amount of volume. They have reported that they have over about 110 million daily active users in the US, so roughly almost a quarter of our population. And people use that little search bar a ton. So being able to do search ads in TikTok is going to be awesome, I think. And we've already started testing it for a few clients, and the early results are definitely positive. So fun little development there that you should look into if it makes sense for you. Next thing is Shopify and Amazon cut a deal. They've been arguing and sort of fighting for a while now, a few years. And, I think maybe Amazon sees Shopify as its only competitor for a few things. But anyway, the new deal allows Shopify merchants to buy with Prime and get some of the benefits that Amazon provides to its Prime members, but still by checking out Shopify. So you'll be able to check out with Amazon too, it looks like, which has been a thing before. But by checking out, if you have it enabled on the back end of your Shopify site, which this is still invite only as of now, by the way, you'll be able to tap into the logistics side of Amazon and get the fast deliveries and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be pretty big as time goes on. I think it's like a 2-year deal, if I remember right. But definitely keep an eye on that if you have a Shopify store, because it could make a big difference for you and your numbers. Okay, next thing is Meta and TikTok have been making more comments on not wanting to send traffic out of their platforms, away from their platforms. I think last episode we mentioned how TikTok banned e-commerce links, but Meta has been pushing their own shops for a while and is pushing it harder now. And I think this is not going to stop. And so it's definitely something that just any e-commerce brand needs to be aware of, because these platforms want to keep people in their platforms. And if they send someone to whatever, fourthpickleball.com, and somebody buys some pickleball stuff from there, it's a lot less likely that that person's going to come back, right, to TikTok or Instagram and keep browsing because they've already gotten distracted. But if Instagram or TikTok can help them just check out through one of their shops, as soon as the order's confirmed, boom, they're back into browsing mode, which is good for Instagram and TikTok. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. It's kind of funny how Shopify is teaming up with Amazon, with the Amazon payments, or buy with Prime, I mean. But now you have Meta and TikTok saying we don't want to mess with those guys. We want to be Amazon. We want people to check out here. So that's kind of interesting. And then something else that I think is going to be important that a lot of brands neglect is your organic social is going to have to be dialed in if you want to continue to succeed on these platforms, especially if they do ban the external links. Because if you don't do a good job of saying who you are, what your product is, why it benefits them, provide some credibility on it, almost like a landing page, then you're not going to see success with checking out on these platforms. And customers will still probably do what a lot of them do now, where they see your post, they go to Google, they search for it and all that stuff. But I do think that it's still going to be super important.
Yeah, I agree.
And that kind of leads us to our next point. So there was I'll have to remind myself who it was, but he was talking about a brand that stopped working on the organic social channels, and they immediately saw a huge drop in their branded search. And so it's just another lesson of why organic social is going to be huge, and why it's going to be important for the reasons we were just talking about, as well as for your branded search. But even more important, we believe, are going to be things that are owned marketing channels. So that'd be SEO, email and SMS. SEO algorithms aren't going to change so drastically that you lose all the progress that you made. And so if you can really dial that in, you're going to own all that traffic for your brand. And then email, SMS, we would hope Klaviyo or SendLane or these brands, there's not going to be anything super crazy where you lose all of the customer data that you've already gathered. So having owned channels is going to be huge, especially as these different changes come to fruition.
Yeah. And there's always going to be like email deliverability is something to always keep an eye on. And, when Google introduced the promotions tab in Gmail, that was something that affected email, obviously. As many of the channels as you can own, you want to own and invest in those as hard as you can, because as you can see with the flip of a switch, Meta and TikTok can just say, hey, we're not sending you traffic anymore, so unless you pay for it. So yeah, SEO is typically one of the more neglected channels, which I would urge you to reconsider if that's the case for your brand. And email and SMS, I mean, everyone knows how powerful those can be, but keep building those up.
So some ad trends that we've been seeing work really well, both for our clients as well as online, and some cool ads that we've seen that represent that well. One of them's from Bloom Nutrition, which basically it's just a really simple ad that is their founder on a podcast. And she says, hi, I'm so-and-so, founder of Bloom Nutrition, and I'm going to read some Amazon reviews. And then she proceeds to read reviews. And I think that the ad's really effective because you get to connect with the founder. You get to have some social credibility with her reading the reviews. And something that we think is funny and that's also performing well is even focusing on bad reviews. So she could even read some bad reviews in there. Liquid Death is somebody that really capitalizes on this. They ran an ad promo where they said, or maybe it was a review, right? That said, I would rather lick sweat off a fat guy's back than drink Liquid Death. And then they brought some people in and they had, you can either drink the Liquid Death or you can lick the sweat off a fat guy's back. And some did one or the other, some did both. But
yeah, very funny.
I wonder what tasted better. I don't know.
Yeah, probably the Liquid Death water. But yeah, that ad was hilarious. And yeah, I think obviously you could have the founder read the reviews. You could even just have like your customer service manager be reading the reviews or like if it's a product, the person that made the product, and have them show like their reactions to what the person is saying. So there's a lot of fun ways to do that. Another trend we've been seeing working well is utilizing memes in ads. One of the hot memes right now is with Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, where he's in like sweats and she's in a fancy red dress, and there's a lot of memes going around about that photo. And so you could definitely piggyback off of that with your ads, or there's new memes every day or every week, so staying up to date on those. The shelf life of those ads oftentimes will be super short, but if you capitalize quick enough, you can get better results in that short period of time. So that's one that we like doing. And then another one is ads around a bundle specifically. A lot of ads tend to focus on the products and not necessarily bundles of products. So I think, focusing on bundles, obviously the AOV is going to be higher in that scenario as well, which is beneficial. So anyway, that's something that we would recommend considering, especially if you're layering on some sort of UGC compilation, which Hexclad did recently a great job of, and I've seen a few others been doing it recently, but that's something we're pushing too that we would recommend considering. So shorter episode for you today, but hopefully you got some good ad ideas from it. Invest in your own channels. The Shopify Amazon news and the Meta TikTok shop news is big, so keep an eye on that. Stay tuned for next week. See ya.